You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
응답하라 여친. Go to the into the shit.
Back to the count to the Jude. Hey. Jane, I missed you. Oh my gosh. So I was
We haven't
gone.
seen each other for a full month.
I missed Blake too, our producer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it feels like it's. Are we strangers again? No, I missed you greatly. I was like, oh my God, I gotta tell Jane this, I gotta tell Jane that.
I know. I was watching all of your videos because I missed you and I was like, when is she coming back?
Oh, I know. It felt so long. When you're a mom, like you can't ever leave too long.
No.
Not just for, because you're the glue that holds everything together in the household, but also I just miss my baby so much.
I know.
And I didn't think I would be that cheesy of a mom. I know I am. When you're not with them, you're happy for a good minute, but then you're like, where are they? Like, and you get worried. And every time I saw a baby or like a little child, I just want to squeeze them. And my friends were like, oh my gosh, like you are missing your children. I'm like, I am.
Everything probably reminded you of your
every
kids.
time I saw a child, I'd be like, I was like such a creeper.
You were in Vietnam and then Korea for 2 weeks. So you were gone for a total of 14 nights, which is a lot of sleeps to be away from your kids and your family.
Yeah. We started off in Vietnam, and thankfully we have a friend there who basically like showed us around. I don't think that I could have done. Well, it would have been a different trip.
Sure.
Yeah. Having someone who's in the know and who's sort of like the boss really helped. We had pho every day at the shop in the morning. I didn't know this, but Vietnamese people can literally eat pho every single meal of the day.
That's kind of like us, right? We can eat kukbap every day.
Right, but usually I
the
guess
broth and
they have
the
a
base
variation,
changes,
but I didn't realize it was like pho every meal.
Well, because it's easy, right?
Really
the broth just stays,
it's
and
so
then
good.
You can put all the different meats, but then the
noodle
is the base.
The noodles are also different, can be different. I was like, they do this vermicelli.
Yeah.
Not vermicelli, the glass noodle version too. And I didn't know that because they don't do that in the States. Glass noodles in the pho.
So did you have that?
I had that
Did you
too.
like that?
I had all the variations.
Okay.
And I liked every variation. And I hate to admit this, but my stomach did better in Vietnam than in Korea. Korea blew me the fuck up.
Probably the food, like pho is very
neutral,
easy on your
like,
stomach. It's mild, easy to digest.
The spice is constant in Korea. In Vietnam, it's not so much. You can put a little, like the peppers in.
Yeah.
But in Korea, it's like real red. Like, I
don't remember eating that much spice in Korea.
Maybe it's me.
Maybe the types of dishes.
Well, tteokbokki sundae. I'd always have like,
I didn't have any tteokbokki in Korea.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
It just wasn't something that I sought out, or it just felt too heavy. If we saw it at the market, it felt
it was a
little heavy.
thing.
And then most of the restaurants we went to, because we were with kids, it was a lot of soups and mild things that they could eat. Yeah.
Well, also I'd always eat up the spiciest kimchi.
Sure.
And that.
I mean, the kimchi there, right?
Right? It's so. My favorite kimchi is Myeongdong Gyoja kimchi.
That kimchi was so garlicky and
that's like my favorite.
Delicious and so pungent.
Yeah,
and
super
abundant.
pungent. And I could eat like a bowl of that. And whenever there was an opportunity, like,
oh, you have to, right? Like one bite of mandu and then kimchi, and then kalguksu and then kimchi, and then
Oh, the food.
But I was just watching your videos, and I felt like I was right there with you. How was it traveling with a friend? Because this was a girls' trip, but interesting in that it was just the two of you. I mean, you met up with other people while you were there.
Yes. I am happy, so ecstatic to report to you our friendship is stronger than before. The relief.
Yeah,
Jane,
I am relieved.
You know that I had
for
so
you.
much anxiety
you
because
did.
in my past international trips,
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten into like screaming matches. Yeah, one in college, or no, actually it was probably in my 20s. In my 20s, and another trip not too long ago where I was like, so much tension.
Yeah.
I am so proud to report there was not a single fight.
I'm so glad. Did you do anything to prepare your mind and just tell yourself to chill or prepare?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because
I did a lot of that.
Managing expectations. And
Absolutely. And I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
We really, because one, this was, in a way it was stressful because I was the lead. Because my friend had never traveled internationally before.
Oh.
Yeah, so her international trip, which I don't really count, I don't know why, but Cancun doesn't count.
Yeah.
I think it's because it's so resort.
Sure.
Like, if you just
spring break, yeah.
If you just go straight to the resort and that's what you do, that's like you're sheltered, right? So it's not truly, I wouldn't call that international traveling. I mean, of course it is, but it's a different experience.
Yes.
So other than that, she had not been to a country that was like 10 hours of flight. And Vietnam was 15, by the way. Oh my God.
My gosh. I mean, you
brutal.
had some drama getting there.
Oh, yeah. So right off the bat, I think this also affected the trip a lot. We were supposed to leave from SeaTac Airport together, meet up in SeaTac Airport. I get there. She's like, I'm so sorry. My mom drives slow, which is cute. And I was like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'm just going to sit at our gate, and there's a bar there. And I was like so excited. I'm like, should I order the bottle? I was texting her like, should I order us a bottle? I'll get started with the sip. And then communication stopped. And I was like, it's weird that she's like not texting me right back. But I was like, you know what? You know how I get anxious. I'm like, be cool.
Yeah.
Manifest calm. I was starting right there. And then I was like, okay, what do you think? Bottle or just glasses?
Yeah.
And she wrote back, girl. What did she write? It was so cryptic.
Oh
which,
my gosh.
Set my, I was like, she's like, girl, or dang, girl, they won't let me in. At the airport, I'm like, we're not at the clubs. What do you mean they won't let you in? You're at an airport. So I'm like, huh? I'm like, I legit thought she was messing with me. I thought this is a prank.
Yeah.
Not a good one.
Yeah.
So I called right away. She doesn't answer. And that immediately, I'm like, that's not good.
No.
Because that means she's probably busy trying to deal with whatever scenario she's in. I'm like, oh my God. And now the time is like getting close to.
Sure.
And I'm getting more anxious. And I'm like, what do I do? Then she calls and I'm like, oh, thank God. It's going to be fine. Answer, she's hysterical. And she's like,
I can imagine that she's emotional.
Like, they won't let me in. They won't let me in because they say my visa is not. And it is confusing if you've ever had to apply for a visa, not the country you're from, not the mother country. Vietnam was a little bit confusing in text.
Yeah.
So they had this form where it said you had to apply a line, and it said first line was full name.
Sure.
And another box said surname. So what she did was she put her
first name.
Yeah, like let's say Jane Doe, right? Then on the surname she put Doe. So then when it finally printed, it said Jane Dodo.
What were you supposed to put?
When they mean full name, they just mean first name.
That's on them.
Yeah, that's confusing.
Oh my
gosh. I think because
how did you know?
I think because I was like, why would they ask for surname separately? So I thought, okay, I think they mean first and middle name. And then the last name.
That makes sense.
Yeah, the funny thing was I actually got denied my first time because they said that it was because I didn't put my middle name in the full name box.
They want you to put your middle name. What if you don't have a middle name?
Well, I don't usually ever use my middle name because it's a carryover from my maiden name. Cool.
Yeah.
So that's how I keep it hidden, part of my name.
Yeah.
So I forgot that it's on my passport, and so it got denied. But then they allowed me to change it, right? So why didn't that happen for her? Yeah,
right.
hers went through. So she thought she was fine because it got approved.
Gosh. Does it show you like this is what you're, before you submit?
It does. So she did have a little like that looks
weird.
Peculiar.
But that's what they asked.
But it said it was approved, so it's probably fine.
I would think that's fine.
That's what she did.
That is my worst nightmare. One of my worst nightmare scenarios.
Because you're always so anxiety ridden, so you want to calm your nerves and be like, it's probably fine.
It's fine. Is this something that with the right person she could have gotten through?
Yes.
We should have called Sam Cho.
Yes.
We should have called Sam Cho. He probably was in the building at SeaTac.
Really? Fuck, I'm so dumb.
His office is at the airport.
Is it really?
Port Commissioner Sam, our friend Sam.
I do not know how to pull strings. I went blank. That's so terrible.
I would too.
I just froze.
Let's ask Sam.
Yeah,
after recording this, what could he have done?
Well, not only that, you can get visa on arrival. And that should be common knowledge to an airport employee.
Why are they checking? So they were checking at the ticketing, her visa, like her passport and the visa.
Yeah, and
they said that clearly it's her name,
right? And that's why she thought, but it's my name.
Good
but
Lord.
I guess they were like, they're gonna turn you, they're gonna reject you.
But that wasn't.
I don't
correct.
think that's true.
That wasn't correct.
Yeah, because they will nitpick before. It is true they nitpick.
Yeah.
Before you go.
Sure.
And so other people wrote, hey, something happened to me where I put in the wrong, like I was off one number on my passport. So they were like, it has to exactly match up. That's the protocol. I get it. But the several different people that told me was like, they were instructed to contact emergency visa, which they got through right away. And in an hour, they got it sorted, right? Now, we had a layover in Korea. So if we did that, it would have been handled by the time we got to Korea. However, so perfect storm, it was a national holiday in Vietnam.
Oh.
So when they called, they were closed. So this person did call, but they're closed. And then they were like, you know what? Without having that confirmation, I can't let you in.
Oh, that is so painful.
But had it been someone more knowledgeable that was like, oh, you can get visa on arrival. It'll cost you a little bit more, but that is what it is. She would have gotten through.
So did she have to eat a lot of cost to rebook and all that?
Yeah, ultimately. So in a way, I wish she had fought to like get the refund and then have them rebook it. But what happened was they wouldn't let her on. And then it was weird because they changed the rules. They were like, you can go to Seoul because you have a layover there, but you have to cancel the Vietnam. Like, you have to cancel it. And she's like, why do I have to cancel it? That's the itinerary.
Right. Because if it's a layover, that can't be your final destination.
Right. But I was like, well, let her just go to Korea because it's ticketed to go to Korea.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't. At first, they said they would. So then they keep changing things. And I'm like, obviously. So I feel like in a way, and my friend, she's like, she works for the city. She's a city planner. She's very, I was like, I was thinking, you could fight them on it. I mean, had I been, I don't know. It's a terrible situation to be in, but knowing me, I would have been very argumentative.
Right.
I mean, I would have been upset. I'm sure
you would have tried to do whatever you can to board that
everything
plane.
Before we got to the no.
Yeah.
But she was so defeated.
Yeah.
And I said, but you could have kept fighting. And then she was like, the thing with her, which she explained to me, which totally makes sense, is like, if I'm on my own turf of where I know things, like where for the city she works for, she's very knowledgeable, right? She's armed with, info,
she knows
intel,
the ins and outs.
But when she felt
unfamiliar already.
Also international, first time international, she felt this is kind of the thing she feared, and it's happening right before her eyes. So I think panic set in, which is totally understandable.
Yeah.
So, and then, after going through all of that, the next, I said, you know what? You will get to Vietnam. Maybe a day later. And shit like that does happen even when everything goes according to plan. It happened to me. I didn't get to Vietnam till the next day either.
Right,
because
your plane was late.
My plane was late, and I did everything by the book.
And why was your plane late?
Because my flight leaving Seattle was waiting for passengers.
What?
I know. I was like, we do this? For
was
how long? An hour.
Could it have been her that they were waiting for?
No. Other people. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we could have figured it out, and she could have totally gotten on this
I didn't
flight.
know that planes wait for passengers.
I didn't know that, but that's what they told us. And then I know.
Maybe they were waiting for crew and they didn't want to take accountability, so they blamed it on passengers.
That's very, very, I could see that.
Because, yeah.
And it was all Korean airline, and the way they talk was like, oh, 조금만 기다려. Like, let's wait a little bit longer.
Or there was some VIP
I think
passenger.
It was, I think it also was people trying to, it was their layover flight, connecting flight. And it might have been the only one.
So they were waiting.
Yeah, so I think that's right. I think I did hear it's a connecting flight, and we're waiting for a couple more people.
Yeah.
And they knew they were en route. So it was like close enough where I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
But we ended up not leaving until an hour later.
Oh.
And I didn't think
and that cost you the layover.
And I didn't think it would, because I figured, well, we're an hour later. But because I was immediately supposed to get onto a connecting flight. But I was like, an hour? I could get onto the next flight.
Yeah.
Korean airport closes at like 8. Did you know this? Their last flight ends at 8.
At Incheon.
Yeah.
But it's a huge airport, isn't it? Is it not?
It seems that flights stop. Like, the airport is a ghost town close to 8.
Wow.
And I was like, what is happening? And I think
we landed close to 8.
Huh?
We landed close to 8.
Yeah, that's like the last thing.
So it was the last
They
arriving.
don't fly out, though.
I see.
You land in, but you can land in, but they don't leave.
No
so
departing flights.
There's no leaving flights. They're like, no, you're going to have to go tomorrow. And I'm like, huh?
Was that a headache to book, or was it?
No.
Okay.
Well, no. I mean, they were actually, it seems like it happens a lot. So much so they have a hotel just for this.
Oh.
So that it's a thing.
Is it the hotel's like attached to the airport or near the airport? No.
It's still a bit away. But I feel like it was about solid 20 minutes away from the airport, but I could still hear the planes in this hotel. And so this hotel is specifically just for these situations. Isn't that
is fun.
So that's, I think it's because the airport closes early compared to other airports. And so anyways, and I could hear that, and somebody else like informed me in the comments, I don't know if it's true because I never fact checked it, but they were like, the airport has to close early because of the sound. It's like, I guess like the nearing cities can hear it or something.
Ordinance, some kind of.
Yeah, so there's like a law.
Oh.
Anyways.
Well, they shouldn't have layovers then. You know what I'm saying? Like, they should guarantee the layovers.
Yeah. Wasn't there a law? Was there an announcement recently? Like, if there's a canceled flight? Yes.
Canceled or extremely delayed flight. So they said that wasn't going to, because I had to look up this information. I did a girls trip in Vegas, and everyone else's flights home except for mine to Seattle. So again, shout out to Sam Cho. SeaTac has their shit together, apparently.
It does.
Because my flight was the only flight that was not impacted. It was a little bit late. The plane coming from LA was a little late. But everyone else's flights either got canceled or extremely delayed. From Vegas. And it wasn't, like, I don't know what was going on in Vegas. Nothing notable.
What? From Vegas?
And so I was looking up, he said, ask them about the automatic refund, automatic cash refund. But that's not set to take place for another 6 months, of course, rolling my eyes. But yeah, they have to give you an automatic cash refund.
Nice. So did your friends get them?
Is canceled. No, because it hasn't. That's not
in
effect yet. Of course.
But yeah.
Well, despite the travel nightmares, it was a memorable and enjoyable trip. Sounds like.
Absolutely. I think almost in a way those kind of troubles kind of make everything sweeter.
Yeah.
So I calmed her down and I was like, listen. You're going to get on the next flight tomorrow. We're going to do this emergency visa thing. It's going to get handled. You're missing one day, but we're going to get reunited. It'll be great. So I think after the shock of just like that first day.
Yes.
And then she went into like, let's figure this out mode once she got home, and she was on the next flight.
Mm-hmm.
But along the way, like so many things happened. So the nice thing, I feel like I would have fought for the refund from them because they didn't allow me to get on the flight when I could have. I think I told her, tell them that you were informed by multiple people that you could have got visa on arrival, and your person should have known that.
Yeah.
But I think she was so like, I can only do one thing at a time.
Yeah.
And she just wanted to focus on getting on the next flight.
Yes.
They charged her so they rebooked her, same exact flight the next day, and it was like $300-something.
Okay.
So it wasn't, I was like, wow, that's like not.
Are those just fees, not necessarily the.
Something. They clearly knew they fucked up, right? So because like, oh, I thought they were going to charge her the whole thing. And I'm like, this is not. So it was like $300-something.
I would file a claim after.
That's what I said.
After
I said
all of that when
I
she's
said
home.
I think it'd be worth it for you to argue with them.
Yep.
I would.
When you're not pressed for time.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's what I said.
I got this trip 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
This is what happened. And, can I get reimbursed for these fees?
If it was me, because I'm now spending the day at home, I would have fucking
absolutely.
But I understand she was stressed.
Yeah.
And that also like gave me a lot of room to, I mean, I know this, but it's always like a practice. Like not everybody operates like you do.
Sure.
So I was like,
and it's when it's not happening to yourself, you can also be more level-headed about it.
Exactly. Exactly.
But I will say nothing will probably faze her anymore when she travels internationally.
Actually, she said, I feel like I can go and plan
anywhere.
my next trip. And I was like really proud of that.
Yeah.
So she ended up, then she had to pay the emergency visa thing, which cost another couple of $100. I was like, oh, she's just getting scammed at this point.
I know.
So then I think it was like around $500. And then she gets to the airport in Vietnam. And it's shady. Some government, it's government officials, right, that are working. And they're like, oh, you have to pay $25. Cash only. What? They're like, oh, because you did this emergency visa. She's like, okay, I'll pay with my card. Cash only. And it was like
shady.
So when I got there, my friend, that's my Vietnamese contact, came immediately. Like when I got off the plane, he was right there. I was like, whoa, how did you get here? Because he's like well connected. He had the Vietnamese people that work at the airport. He has connections with them. He was let in. You're not let in.
Wow.
Unless you're going on a flight. So he was like, oh, that's why I came to get you.
Wow.
And so I didn't even walk through the traditional line. He just got me right
Customs
through.
Or passport security. You didn't do any of that.
But then my friend that came the next day, because he was anticipating to pick us up together, right?
Right.
So the next day, he didn't have that same kind of leisure.
Clearance,
So he sent someone else.
Okay.
But they got there late, and she was already getting scammed. And so then by the person, and she was like, I already paid the $25.
She's like,
I'm just
whatever.
Just get me.
Just get me there.
Because if she causes trouble with them, who knows what could happen, right? And with what she's already been through, she's like, I just want to get in. So I understand completely. Yeah. So by the time she finally got to me, I was like, oh, you're here.
Was it like 24 hours or 48 hours after?
The next night.
Okay.
So I got in there that
hours,
early morning. And she got, actually it was the day after I had a full day.
Okay.
So it almost felt like 2 days.
Yeah.
And I think I was it put me in this position of I have to protect her. Yeah. I have to take care of her.
Of course.
She had this traumatic situation for her first time. And I felt so bad. I felt so bad because... And there was a little missed opportunity because, when I fucked up on my visa. I put in the Korean date. So after getting rejected on my name, which I was like, damn, they're particular. Then I was like, oh shit, when I got it back, thank God, I recognized that I put in the wrong date. I put in the Korea date instead of the Vietnam date. Now, it would have caused me a headache.
Yeah.
Or I wouldn't have been let in either.
Right.
Because the date can be after... when you initially said you were going to go, but it can't be before the time that you're to enter the country.
I see.
Because if you put that in wrong, they won't let you in.
Okay.
thankfully I caught that, and I was bitching and moaning. I was like, I have to pay another $25. So they don't answer the phones. They won't let you change it.
Yeah.
This is how they collect money. Like, oh, you fucked up? You're just gonna have to pay again. Although they picked up on the name being incorrect and told me to just redo it. But on this date change, nobody responds. Because once it gets approved, they're like, what you got is what you got.
Yeah.
So then I did my research.
Can you do another one?
Yeah, that's what I had to do. They're like, just do another one.
I see.
From my Googling, I found out you just have to do another one. They're not waiting around to help you fix your thing.
Yeah,
they just want to collect another $25. So I was like, I was bitching and moaning. But after what my friend went through, I was like, $25 doesn't seem bad at all, which puts life in perspective. I'm like, damn, that was a small price to pay.
Yeah.
For a first time traveling to Vietnam. So by the time my friend got to me, I was like, I feel so bad because, she heard that trouble from me. And I wish I didn't tell her that they rejected me first time around because of my name, because I didn't want to alarm her. And I wish I had. Because had she known that they're particular, she would have been like, oh, maybe I need to make sure. But she probably would she probably would have been like, it's probably fine though, because mine's the same last name. But anyways, I was like, I know it's not my fault, but I felt responsible because the whole thing, I wanted to go through the airport together, calm her fears. And I've never been in this position. I've always
where
counted
you have to
on
be the lead.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
a
the
stressful
follower.
position
Because I'm so 나도 띠띠리야. I have a hard time just being in the right place myself. I always tell people, do not rely on me. When it comes to shit like this, and I feel bad because I'm so reliant on Adonis, but I feel good because I did do it. So once we got going, we were good. And I was really taking care of her. So my poor girl, she has knee issues. And it's crazy because she's better at me than in tennis. She's a tennis superstar, in my opinion. But when it comes to just walking and stairs, she goes down the stairs sideways because her knee hurts. And I'm like, oh my God, and I'm not a fast walker, in my opinion. I'm usually the one that has to rush to keep up with Adonis. She was lagging behind, and I'd always have to be like, where is she? Looking over my shoulder. So I started to have anxiety. I need to, I'm constantly looking for her. Man, I was on high alert, Jane. I've never been on.
You must have been exhausted every night.
I was like, oh my God, where is she? Where is she? Oh my God. And then, we go to the subway, and I'd scan my card, and let's go. And then I was like, where is she? She's still trying to scan her card. I'm like, and I have to go back. I'm like, oh my God, I was on high alert. And I was so proud of myself because I did it. I was like, okay, come on. We're going this way. I led the subway. She didn't know what the fuck was going on.
And you were asking for directions, right? Trying to figure it out.
And once I get rolling on the subway, I'm good. But you know how sometimes it's you're on the wrong side?
Yes.
And that,
it is a little confusing. There were Koreans, grandmas, asking me for directions. And I'm sweating I told you, 잘 몰라요, but trying to figure it out for her.
Right. And that, I handle that, Jane.
Yeah, I'm proud of you.
There were a couple times we got a little bit lost, but it was only one stop off. Dude, I'm so directionally challenged. I was mad proud. And I figured out Google Map is shit in Korea.
No, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work at all. I was shocked. But once I got on Kakao Map, I was like, boom, I got this.
I don't know which one it is though, Kakao or Naver, where it doesn't show you the name of the place. If you're looking at it in English, instead of saying Olive Young, it'll say makeup and cosmetics.
Oh, it must not. You must have done Naver. I did Kakao Map.
I
and
did
it
both. I was toggling between both.
But mine, it was all in Korean too. I thought there'd be an English one.
Yeah.
But it was all in Korean. And I was like, you know what? I got this.
Yeah.
And so we got through it. I was so proud.
Did you use Kakao Taxi?
No. We used the subway.
Okay.
Exclusively. I think we used the taxi once.
Okay.
And that one time that we used it, these guys got us a cab. And I was like, oh my God, that's so sweet. Okay. Also, different note. Well, let me finish the thought about the friendship. I think because we had this sort of chaos in the beginning and I had this overflowing need to like nurture her and make sure that she was going to have the rest of the trip. It was like super important to me that this trip ended on a high note.
Yes.
And we did, I don't know. So as far as you were saying, was it the change of expectations? I think so. I really focused on making sure she was feeling better, that from this point on, it was going to be smooth sailing. I went into like my mama bear mode. Like I'm going to make my protective, thing came out. And maybe that's why. So I was like very understanding.
Yeah. I'm very interested to know your Enneagram type. And that's kind of like personality types.
Yeah.
Because
what are the choices?
Well, it's just types, numbered types 1 to 9. And so everyone at their core has your Enneagram type, which is
what are you?
For example, I'm a 6, but then you have, so it's like 1 to 9 and they all have a relationship with each other.
Do you take a test for this?
No, I mean, there's different ways to do it. I believe that you read through everything and kind of familiarize yourself with the entire Enneagram. It just means Enneagram is, I think it's Greek. It's for like 9. It stands for 9 and then gram.
Yeah,
like
and you pick the one?
Yeah, but there are so many free tests online too. I think that's less accurate because sometimes when you take a test, you're kind of taking it in the mindset of that
I'm
you're
get a result.
Now. Exactly. Yeah. So it's better to familiarize yourself with all the types and pick out. You can eliminate some that don't resonate and pick out some that resonate with you, and then go deeper. But the reason I say this is because you may have a type, but then there's different number types that you can draw from when you're in a stress situation or when you feel very secure. So I'm curious to know, because it seems like you leaned that you do have that part of you that was accessible while you were traveling. And you kind of switched into this mode where, okay, I have to be this type of person for my friend. Or like, this is what the situation demands from me. And that was going to be my question, was what kind of friend are you while you're traveling? Because I was on a girls' trip with 5 other girls.
Yeah.
And
how was that?
It was great.
Oh, wow.
But for me, it allowed me to take a seat back. Because usually on family trips, I'm the lead.
Yeah.
And so,
how did that feel? You like that?
Oh, I loved it because it was a break from my normal,
And I'm the opposite.
Mode.
I always take the seat back and enjoy. I've been spoiled. So having to do this, but I feel it was empowering.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that I
you could do
that. I can do it when needs are there. And I felt kind of like a really good person. Because I always ask you, am I a good person? I question myself.
Did you meet a lot of fans and followers?
I met a few. So I wasn't like, kudasai, have you seen that girl?
No.
Oh, Jane. So there's a girl that has traveled through, I believe she's Indian descent. And I believe trans woman. Only reason I say that is because I've seen this person before, and I realized, oh my gosh, they went to a transition. But just
okay.
But says the funniest things. Kudasai is like please, like, and so she has like a whole catchphrase. Kudasai sushi, and she does it in such a funny way. Kudasai mochi, and she has like a whole line. It means like please give me sushi, please give me
sushi 주세요.
Yeah, and then she did that in Korea.
Okay,
so in Korea, she got completely like people were swimming in. There was like a fan craze over it that the police had to like help her.
Wow.
And so there's a video of her like talking to the police, and she's like, And they're like all just trying to protect her. It's so funny. She was a star.
Wow.
She became a star in Korea. And well, in Japan. She started in Japan. They saw that in Japan. She does kudasai. So in each country she goes, she's like good at learning the language, which
That's
is like
amazing.
so.
Yeah.
It's like she goes, bibimbap 주세요. Kimbap 주세요. So and they're like nuts over her.
Yeah.
They loved her.
Yeah.
Anyways, now that is a celebrity. I didn't have that experience. But I did meet people, Korean Americans, other little smaller creators that I had been I don't know if you know this creator Harry. I've been watching his content and we've been DMing before my Korea trip. Before I even knew I was going to Korea. I was like, oh, I like your content. So sweet. Like a 동생, like a younger Korean boy. But he's like so, I say he's rich, but he's like, no, I'm not rich. My parents are rich. The boy has the bag collection to die for, Jane.
It was the boy with the Bottega.
Yeah. And I don't know if you saw, he had Bottega shoes to match.
Wow.
I was like, like head to toe. Then he took me to, I didn't make a video on this yet, but he took me to the, he has a VIP membership in, I think the what department is it? Not Hyundai. Hyundai department store.
Oh my gosh.
So he took, like, let me take you to the store. Our family has a membership. I was like, how do you get a membership? Oh, if you spend a lot of money.
Yes. Yes.
I was like,
제발.
so I had this kind of like experience that was so different.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So he's so
That's really
adorable.
Fun.
So adorable.
He's Korean American or Korean?
He's Korean in that I think he's more Korean rooted, but he grew up mostly like going to boarding school internationally. Okay. So I can hear more of an accent with him on the English end, but you don't hear an accent on the Korean end, right? So he's more, but he's very like, I would say he's familiar more with the Korean. I mean, I don't know. I think equally both because he's lived almost all his life in America.
Wow.
Boarding school and all that. But he's so cute. Like he took us to this pasta place that's like, so he knows what's in Korea, not based on what the us foreigners see, but like what's happening for Korea. And he took us to this pasta shop that was amazing. And we were like people watching together. And then he took us to this shopping experience. I wouldn't, when you were in Korea, did you go to this like clothing store? I think it was like Adder.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would have never known to go in there myself.
In Seongsu-dong, right? Or
there's multiple.
Oh, okay. We went to the one in Seongsu-dong.
And that's where I met Steph.
That's crazy. Yes, I saw that. You saw Steph, who is one of our content creator friends, Tresuni. Super funny.
Why
but
is
she
her
was
name
having
Tresuni?
It draws from her two grandmas.
Oh.
Yeah. But
okay,
she
how
told me
crazy
she was there.
Is that?
I knew she was going to be there for extended time. I didn't put two and two together that she would still be there when you went.
Right. I did see that she was in Korea, but I thought by the time I got there, she probably would have gone.
Yeah.
And you know her better. So I met her through Jane, but Jane and her, you guys,
we met up.
Yeah, you guys have.
Once
do you
we
guys
found
DM
out she was local.
Okay, so you guys have met up more frequently. Yeah. I've met her once, and I didn't know her that well, but she's amazing. I love her energy. I love her silent laughter.
She does do
no
that.
No sound comes out.
Just open mouth.
It's the cutest thing. So I'm walking in Seongsu-dong, right, with another cute Korean American boy who wanted to show us around, which
Cute.
So yeah, I was very flattered.
Yes.
He reached out and was like, "I know this is a long shot, but I live here, and I would love to." It was so amazing. I didn't know Seongsu-dong was like the Brooklyn of Korea. He was the one that showed us that, and I was like, "This is phenomenal." Like, how do you get a tour like that?
Yeah,
it's like in the know person.
I love that fluid itinerary that you had.
So I did not plan a thing.
Yes. And you even, that's probably more, a lot richer than if you had kind of made your own.
And so I had deep anxiety about that because I'm not a planner. I rely on, other people planning things.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, every day we'll think of something to do. And that's how I roll because I can't sit down and it's overwhelming if I have to sit down. But on a day-to-day, I'm like, okay, let's do something different today. That I can do, like one task at a time. And I did that really well. Like I was like, oh, this person contacted me. I'm thinking maybe tomorrow we do this. So I took charge every day.
Yeah, I love it.
And every day we did something different. Yeah. I got a tattoo in Vietnam.
I saw that.
So,
and was it a good experience?
It was amazing.
Okay.
So honestly, I kept telling my friend after a while, I was like, you are having the best time of your. I know it was a rough start, but honestly, like traveling with me for you, like is the best because I was like, look at all the things you're getting to. You're getting a tattoo. We're getting our hair done.
You're telling her.
Yeah.
Instead of her telling you, I'm having the best time of my life. You're telling her, hey, you're having the best trip.
Well, it was because I was having the best time. So I told her, I was like, Anita, can you believe that we're in Vietnam getting a tattoo together? Yeah. We're also getting our hair done. Like we were doing all these things. Like, can you believe that you're doing this?
Yeah.
And she goes like, well, I would have never believed it. It's more like I'm just going along with whatever you're going.
It's like I had a rough start. And it made everything seem like we're going up from here.
Yeah, so on that end, this is where I give her full credit. She made a really great travel partner in that she just went along with everything. Great. Yeah. She just was like, I don't know anything. I'm going to take your lead. Yeah. And she just went along.
And that so made you guys had a great dynamic.
Yeah, no friction. But I would always check in with her. Like, does this sound interesting to you? Yeah. Does it? The only, I don't even know what to call this. The disappointment, a slight disappointment, is that my friend Anita is not a food person. So,
but you still got to eat. We wanted to eat.
But I'd be like, oh,
she couldn't fully.
I would be like having these like orgasmic moments when I found this samgyetang place. I was like, oh. I was like, Anita, do you know how crazy it is?
My mouth was watering.
It was the best.
And I saw the gochujang, the pepper, the pickled peppers. Oh my gosh.
When you have that as your side dish, you know you're in the right fucking place because nowhere else. Not only that, this restaurant was in Myeongdong.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. And all the office workers, all the men.
Mostly men. Few women.
Yeah.
All Korean, living in Korea.
In their corporate
we happened to hit there during lunchtime. Not a single foreigner. Anita and I were the only ones. During the whole rush. And they only served that one thing. So you just sit down and they start bringing you the stuff.
I love it.
No decisions need to be made. This is the only thing we make because this is what we excel at. Phenomenal.
Oh,
it was the best. And I was so proud that I found it. You know how I found it? Because I was like, I am feeling like samgyetang because I was having, and that soup healed me.
Yeah.
Because I was going to the bathroom 4 times. I was like, oh my God, I needed something to soothe me, like get me back on neutral ground. And that soup did it. Like,
Did you go to the Korean pharmacies at all?
I did.
and I just love the experience where they are like, tell us your symptoms.
Oh, I didn't do that.
Oh, okay.
So did you know the hack of buying stuff at the pharmacy for your skin?
Yeah, I bought some stuff for my skin at the pharmacy.
Yeah, so I went to I'd be like, 이거 주세요. And the pharmacist started laughing at me like, 비디오 좀 보여줘.
Yeah, like, they're hip now.
Yeah.
What is it? What did you go
I
for?
wanted from the pharmacy something for my melasma.
Yes, okay.
So like I got the cream for lightening. I also got, this one girl said there is like this Neosporin-like thing that heals your cracks.
Oh,
sorry, on your feet.
Yeah,
my feet get really, especially once I start wearing flip-flops.
Yes, I have dry feet too.
She says it's like immersing your foot in water.
Wow.
I'm like, what?
And has it been working?
Oh, I haven't started yet but I was like, we gotta load this up.
I got Acnon.
Oh, that's the rage. Like
it's an acne cream, like a spot, just like a cream, and it just like
So I was gonna get that, but then I was like, I just don't have a scenario where I get a lot of acne or even like ones. It's just so rare. I didn't feel like I needed to get it. But then the minute I didn't, right? Then I got one.
Of course.
regret, but
Yeah.
that's fine. I got the other, like their best from the pharmacy. The pimple patches
Yes,
apparently
the patches
are better.
so great.
Yeah. So I got that. And I got the, what do you call it?
Masks.
The overnight mask.
Yes.
Have you tried those?
No, I haven't.
I brought you some.
I'm excited.
Jane, so good. And
Really?
I didn't know I could sleep in a mask. I because I'm a side sleeper.
Yeah. Did you sleep on your side?
No,
with
so
that?
I was like, well, I'll sleep as long as I can on the back, which I never have. But I did.
Good.
And actually, the reason, so what happens is when you put it on initially, it's like that mask feeling, but then over time, it like 붙어.
Okay.
얼굴에. Like it becomes like a film, clear film.
Yeah.
So I think even if you turn to the side later,
it'll be
initially you're fine.
Okay.
My skin after I just used it one overnight, plump for days.
What?
And like, you know, I usually like touch Sawyer's skin. He has the best. And like, oh, it's so baby fat skin,
like
right?
보송보송.
Mine was like that.
Wow.
Yeah. And actually now it's not because I didn't even do my daily routine. So my plan is I use that once a week.
Yeah.
It's not cheap. But I use it once a week. So I stocked up. But I'm like, how? But I was like telling myself, well, we didn't do the skincare lab stuff. Did you?
No, I didn't do any skin. I did Botox, but I didn't do any skincare, like lasers.
But you
or
did
anything.
Botox here.
Yeah.
Was it cheaper there?
Much cheaper.
Oh. Where did you go?
It was like a third of the price. I went to my friend's dermatologist.
Okay, so you need to go to a dermatologist.
You have to go to somebody that somebody refers you.
Yeah, because I was looking at the TikTok, skin clinics.
Yeah, no.
We had booked an appointment.
Which clinic was it? Can I ask? Oh.
It's like...
Are they just borrowing the name or is it Laneige?
Wait. Oh.
Are they borrowing
the... No.
Okay.
I'm thinking Laneige. Never mind.
Okay.
Lianjiang.
Okay, I don't know that.
Which I'm like, that sounds Chinese. Which is fine, but like, and it looked but then I saw this video of this girl, a long, lengthy video. She's like, I get skincare, I get micro needling and Botox all regularly here, and then I went there because it's like the fraction of the price. But honestly, I feel like she did like 10 things at once, and it was not. I was like, I would not do 10 things at once.
No, because and actually the dermatologist that I saw over
would
there
not recommend that.
Would
right?
not recommend that, and really, Botox was he was like, you're doing the right thing. By coming here for that, because if you were here for an extended period of time, then we could do, multiple treatments of laser in. But one treatment is not going to do it. It's not going to fade the spots.
Things.
Yeah.
And then she was talking about micro needling only being like a minute. And I'm like, huh? That's not what I've heard.
Yeah.
And then in the comments, I heard somebody say, oh yeah, I went there and they misplaced my Botox. I was like, what?
What does that mean?
Like, I think
they put it in the wrong area.
Where it must have like shifted or like.
So they do. I feel like they capitalize on, all the tourists.
Yeah. So it's become like a little.
And it's a factory.
Yeah.
In and out.
Yeah. That's what they were saying.
Yeah.
You're in the waiting room with the numbing creams. Everybody's out.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I know.
So we booked it, and then I started seeing these videos, even in the ones that the other influencers were promoting. Boom, there's another one that's popular.
Yeah, that's a big one.
So I looked at that, and there were negative reviews about that place too.
Yeah.
So it's like become these like skin like.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I feel my skin is good enough that I don't need all that. I'd rather get like really good masks. And the thing I don't like about regular masks is like it's so short, and I feel like it doesn't last. The overnight mask, it lasts for days.
That's great.
The effect lasts for days.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I did that. But then I was mad I forgot to buy sunscreen because Korea's sunscreen formula.
You can buy it here. It'll just be
that's
like a
what
little
I
bit
told
more.
Adonis.
Yeah, just buy it here.
Was like, no, you can't get it here.
Yes, you can. You can get everything. So my friend was, my onni was telling me, giving me all the ins and outs of how to navigate the Olive Young app. So I have both the Korean app and then the global app because she's like, you got to filter it. Don't bother buying things that you can buy on the app in the States.
Oh.
Look for stuff that
You
is not.
can't.
Yeah. So it's a little bit intensive, labor intensive, right? Because I'm favoriting like, oh, okay, I'm interested in this, this, and this, and this. Then I go check on the global app. They have it, right? So unless it's a significant savings or I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I really want this now, then I just passed and I was like, I'm going to try to stick to the
I
ones
know,
that I
and
can only get
that's
in
the
Korea.
pressure.
Yeah.
You know, you're like,
It's-
what
yeah.
can I get that I
And
don't
then
get?
those stores like that, they know their clientele.
Yeah.
And so they put everything that, is trending on TikTok or everything that the tourists are coming for, they put that in the middle.
Yeah.
So is that what Koreans in Korea use? We don't know. That's just,
So I told my cousin, and she had no idea that
Yeah.
mask was going viral.
Oh.
Had no idea.
Uh-huh.
But she had also fallen off the skincare routine stuff because
Uh-huh.
she became a mom, and
Yeah,
she's like, I
understandable.
don't pay attention too
Yeah.
much. But yeah,
Yeah.
they're like, that's going viral?
Yeah.
Had no idea.
They probably don't even get it
The
there, right? They
Koreans
probably
in
go
Korea are
get
not
it at the
getting it.
stores or their
Yeah, the
convenience
Koreans
stores.
in Korea probably like the fad went out like a year ago, probably.
Probably.
And but I do love it. I feel like
Yeah.
if I was literally thinking about what if I couldn't afford to use it every day,
Mm-hmm.
but like maybe twice a week.
Yeah.
I was like, that's doable, and it makes my skin feel plump and
Yes.
youthful and glowy.
Yes.
Not today because I hadn't been keeping up with my regular routine because I've been so damn tired. But anyways, overall, friendship,
Ugh.
we got stronger.
I'm so glad.
I'm so
glad.
relieved,
Yeah.
Jane. I was like, I came back to Adonis and I was like, it wasn't me. The drama is
Yeah.
not me. I'm
not the
able-
problem.
Yeah, I'm not the issue. I had a perfectly great trip.
Yeah.
And our friendship grew from it
Ugh.
because we're both so equally appreciative of each other and respectful of each other. So I think I think maybe in a way, we haven't been friends that long.
Mhm.
So I think maybe the boundaries were more in place.
Uh-huh.
Whereas with my other friends, I think we thought we were so close
Mm-hmm.
that maybe we got a little too comfortable.
Sure.
And on a trip, then, you think you know everything. And that was the other thing. When you're traveling with someone that thinks they know everything and they're like,
Yeah.
you're like, oh my God, like, chill out, right?
Yeah.
Whereas me, I knew more than her, but I still felt like I
Yeah,
didn't know.
right.
So I was very cautious, and I was like,
Mhm.
always like making sure to be including her in our discussions. So I think
Mhm.
that's the difference. But
That's awesome.
I'm I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I can do this.
Ugh.
And I can come back with a stronger friendship.
Yes.
I'm not a terrible person.
Well, I'm so glad that you have only good things to report. And I feel like we could talk about this for hours longer.
So
but
much.
I'm
Oh.
happy you're back. Uh-huh.
Yes, I want to tell you more
Uh-huh.
about the Korea trip because it was definitely in the next episode. I want to tell you my
Uh-huh.
experience
Okay.
and how Korean people were seeing me, which was very different
Yes.
from my past experiences.
Okay.
So, listeners,
Redemptive.
you'll have to listen to
Okay.
find out. Teaser!
On that note.
응답하라,
Yeochin!
Yeochin!